YouTube. Today I want to talk about Essiac Tea. It's Dr. Casey's spelled backwards, which is E-S-S-I-A-C. You can look this information up for yourself. In 1938, it came 3 votes away from the Ontario, Canada government actually considering it a treatment for cancer. That's right. Why haven't we heard about it? Well, why don't we hear about most of those natural cures? Today I want to talk about this Essiac Tea. And I'm going to tell you a place you can get it and actually make 2 gallons of it for less than $40. Okay guys, the most important ingredient in Essiac Tea that I've been able to research is burdock root. When you order this, where I go is herbalhealer.com, you will get 4 little baggies. Each baggie is going to have 4 different types of herbs in it. You've got slippery elm bark, burdock root, as I said, sheep sorrel, and turkey rhubarb. Now, this burdock root is really good for blood purifying, liver detoxing, so you can see why it would be very effective and an alternative treatment for cancer. It's also really good for acne. It's good for inflammation of any kind. And so today I'm going to show you how to make this. You will need, when this comes, by the way, there's going to be enough in the package to do 2 gallons. Well, it's suggested to use it within 2 weeks, which I never use it within 2 weeks. So I usually separate mine to where I do like half the herbs and 1 gallon. You can do both, and I did both before, and I have stored them in the refrigerator for much longer than the 2 weeks because you're going to heat it up every time you use it. So let's get into this. You're going to need 1 gallon of distilled water. You're going to need a big stainless steel pot. And you're going to need your 4 herbs that came in your package. When you order from Herbal Healer, all of the directions on how to make this Essiac Tea from scratch is going to come with it, along with a lot of information about Essiac. I want to read to you straight from the paper that comes with it. So startled was the effectiveness of the simple herbal remedy, it could not be ignored, and the Canadian Ministry of Health and Welfare of the Parliament became involved. Friends, former patients, and grateful families petitioned Canadian officialmen for Rene Casey's right to administer the remedy to anyone who asked for it, without the threat of interference from any authorities. 55,000 signatures were collected on the petition in 1938, and Essiac came within only 3 votes of being legalized by the Ontario government as a remedy for terminal cancer patients. All of this, as I said, will come with your package. I suggest you read it, and let's get into making this. So you want to take your gallon of distilled water, and you're going to pour it right into your big stainless steel pot. I've seen, personally, guys, I have seen people with, like, one person I know had a knot on the back of their arm, which was like the size of a golf ball. It ended up being almost the size of a baseball. And this person started taking the tea regularly. It did take about a year of taking the tea for it to totally go away, but it did go away. I know another lady who had a knot come up on her leg, didn't want to go to the doctor, didn't have insurance, and started taking the tea. And so I know that. I know people who took it for skin ailments, just to clear up their skin. But like with any good thing, you have to make it a habit to take it every single day. And the directions on taking it is, you mix 2 ounces of the herbal liquid that you'll have with 2 ounces of hot water. You never heat the water that you're going to mix with the stuff. Never mix any of it and heat it in the microwave. Because in case you don't know, the microwave is going to destroy all the living organisms that you're going to need from it. Just as if you microwave your vegetables, it destroys your vegetables and the contents of vitamins in them. So do not microwave. Formula is going to be taken on an empty stomach for better absorption. And always take before eating and wait 10 to 20 minutes after you take before you eat. This way it'll go straight into the bloodstream. It is a liquid, so it's going to be sucked in and used up really fast. It's non-toxic. In fact, there's been reports where one lady was babysitting and the toddler kept wanting the tea, so she didn't know that it wasn't just, Lipton tea, so she kept giving it to the toddler, and they watched the toddler and was in close contact with, this facility, this herbal healer, and the child ended up fine, nothing happened, no adverse effects. But with any good thing, you do want to use it in moderation just to be safe. It should not be toxic though, and that to me proved that it really wasn't toxic. But seriously, we do want to take precautions on things. We don't want to overuse anything, not medicine, nothing. So the same goes for this, just smart practice. So you'll mix the 2 ounces of the liquid with 2 ounces of hot water, and you'll drink that anywhere from 1 time a day to 3 to 4 times a day, depending on what your ailment is. One more thing is you do want to store this in a dark area, and if you store it in your refrigerator, that'll be just perfect. Then you can just use glass bottles like this. That's what we use, is we store it in a glass bottle. And I suggest don't store anything in plastic in case you've not did your research. Plastic, even plastic water really, is not my favorite water. But plastic, a lot of it can cause cancer. So try not to have things stored in plastic. We don't even drink out of plastic cups around here. The other thing you're going to need will be a milk bag. This one's kind of got almond nuts in it because we make almond milk, and it's not been cleaned out yet. But you will need a bag. You can order these on eBay. You can order them offline, various places. They're called milk bags or nut bags. And if you don't have this, you can use a cheesecloth or a colander. But basically, these herbs are going to be very, very small, so you want something that the herbs don't just fall through and get in the liquid. Okay, so after you dump the water in, you're just going to put in the 4 herbs. And you want to get it all in there. That was our burdock root. Here is our sheep sorrel. I feel like I'm mixing some potion. I feel like Darkabelle. Okay, this one is turkey rhubarb, and it's just powdery. I actually love the smell of it. You may not like the smell, but I actually love the smell of it. And I'm not going to be able to strain it for you today and actually put it in the jar. That will be, when I do that tomorrow, I will post a response video in the description area of this, and you can click on that response video and see how it all turns out and basically how you take it and etc., which I gave you basic directions. 2 ounces of the herbs and 2 ounces of water warmed up on the stove to a slight boil, like you would a tea, not too hot, but and then just down it on an empty stomach. So you want to take this and put it on your stove, and you want to bring that to a boil, and then you're going to let it sit. Here's the procedures I want to read straight from the paper on procedures to make your tea. To make the 2-gallon recipe, you mix the 4 herbs together, which is going to be approximately 1 cup. You may cut the recipe in half if you wish, but this is totally up to you, which we did have. What we're doing is in half. It's been done in half. And you just do that by eye. It's you just kind of lay it down on a plate and you separate it best you can. And then you put the rest back in the baggie and store it for another usage. You boil the 2 gallons of distilled water to a boil. If using only half the herbs, bring the gallon of water to a boil and stir in the herbs. Although I put the herbs in so you could see them, you would want your water slightly boiling first. Either way, it's going to turn out the same. You replace the lid and boil for 10 minutes. And watch this. I highly suggest a tall one because I have had this boil out on the stove because these herbs seem to, they will boil out if you don't watch them, but you want it to come to a rolling boil for at least 10 minutes. Then you want to turn off the stove. You scrape down the sides of the herbs so they'll set in the water. You mix it well and you allow the pot to sit and remain closed for 12 hours. This is the steeping and extraction process. This is why there's going to be a video response, because I have to let this come to a boil and then I have to let it sit for 12 hours. And then I'll be back to show you how we put it in our jar, how we strain it out, and how we go ahead and take it. And it really does taste pleasantly good. So this is a little bit about Essiac Tea. It's a really cool herbal tea for many, many ailments. I hope you Google it and do your own research. And I look forward to talking to you about the rest of it a little bit later. Till next time, guys, subscribe, favorite, thumbs up, and come back and check out the response video. Bye.